Oh, boy. Your consciousness returns in surges. Each interval lasts a little longer and lets you absorb more of your surroundings. The freezing cold, the pain. You blink your eyes that feel crunchy and dry. Your first instinct is to rub your eyes and get some relief, but you can't move. The first thing you notice is the wooden planks in front of you. No, that's not right. Not in front of you, above you. You realize that gravity is pushing you into the ground. You're lying on the floor, maybe in an attic or a basement. It's hard to say. You lift your head and try to get a better sense of the situation. A circle of candles is placed around you. They are almost burnt to the ground, and their light flickers on the walls and ceiling. Your arms and legs are stretched out in a sort of X shape. You try to move and get up, but no luck. There's a firm and scratchy resistance on your wrists and calves which force you to stay in this position. On top of it all, you're stark naked. The only thing that still covers you is green paint. Your whole body seems to be splattered with green paint. Scratchy boards rub uncomfortably against your back, legs, and other parts of your body, which you usually keep at a safe distance from splintery wood. Whoever transported you did not take great care in placing you down. Your whole body feels like one big bruise. You have seen gagged and naked prisoners many times before in cheap thrillers and horror movies. The fact that this has now happened to you makes you aroused. "That's hot," you whisper excitedly. The pain, the dimmed light of the candles, the cool breeze caressing your naked skin, you find all of this highly stimulating. You wonder what else Dahlia has prepared. Is she going to cover you in whipped cream and then lick it off you bit by bit? A smile creeps into the corners of your mouth. That's the great thing about mysterious ladies who are potentially involved in illegal business. They're full of surprises. You'd love to check your breath, but the tight restraints don't give you much room to move. All you can do is wait. Finally, you hear footsteps. Then there's the rattling, metallic sounds coming from the door. Someone is using a key. The wooden door drags against the floorboards, then it closes again. Silence. "Oh, look who's up again," Dahlia's voice whispers sweetly. "Awake and ready for the next step, or take me right here on the floor?" I'll go with this. Take me right here on the floor. Your words fade into the dark. You worry that this was perhaps a bit too coquettish when Dahlia's melodic voice responds. It's perhaps slightly less melodic than before and a tad confused. "Are you being serious?" At last, she steps out of the shadows to your right. You lift your neck to see her better. The Dahlia you have come to know as so calm, cool, and calculating currently appears to be a nervous wreck. She is constantly moving and also playing with something metallic and shiny in her hands. A knife. Hot. She's probably going to cut your ties with it so you can finally get to the main part of this little game. Or it's part of the whole act. Dahlia strike you as the kind of woman who needs a little danger in her life? You writhe around in a way that I think looks sensual. Yeah. Although the ropes splay out your arms and legs into all directions, you decide to make the best of it. You say as you writhe in your restraints like a frog about to be dissected in biology class. You even start purring. Dahlia lets the hand with the knife sink slowly, her face insecure. What are you doing? Maybe she don't like it. Should I explain myself? Or would that ruin the mood? Explain it. Your arms and legs go limp. I thought I'd spice up our little game. A little? I won't have these ridiculous poses. This is a serious moment, Dahlia replies through clenched teeth. The contempt in her eyes rob you of any motivation to keep playing along. You simply lie there now. The room seems to have become a little colder, but maybe this is simply due to Dahlia's icy presence. With as much grace as she can muster, given her nervousness, Dahlia sits down next to you among the candles. She grasps the dagger with both hands and holds it over you. You watch as the hairs on her arms stand up and she begins to speak. Almighty Dagon, in my name and in the name of my ancestors, take this sacrifice. She lifts her arms and emits a scream that lets your blood curdle. She rams the knife into your chest and it glides almost silently through skin, flesh, and bones. An unknown world of pain overwhelms you. You try to breathe, so to speak, but every little movement is punished by microscopic pinpricks. Your body starts to burn. It may be your sense of panic fooling you, but you're pretty sure that the green runes on your body are now beginning to glow slightly. You consider yourself lucky, whispers Dahlia hoarsely. With her free hand, she moves a strand of hair from her face. Your death will bring our family another period of happiness and prosperity. You were of some use to somebody after all. She pulls the blade from your chest with a jerk. The pain is unbearable when it stops. Nah, she's not that bad. She's great. Oh, no, she killed me. Never mind. Black Widow, Dahlia Marsh sets you up. You goddamn tool. You corny, man. Okay, so we have another ending, I guess. I'll consider that one of the good endings. Let's see if it changed if I was to maybe not be so aroused this time. I'll go ahead and skip through these till we get our choices. The fact that this has now happened to you... Damn it, I want to click aroused again, but no. Makes you shout for help, that's not going to help. Make me laugh, won't make a difference. Makes me think. You decide to just lie there for a while and consider the whole thing rationally. You're still not entirely clear on how you ended up here or why, but you've got a suspicion. Inevitably, you reflect on your life, ups and downs, as well as all the decisions that ultimately led you to this point, bound up and humiliated. It's enough to make you weep. Your eyes fill with tears, and soon they flow freely and down to your ears. A soft whimper escapes your throat. Take a breath. You'll get a great anecdote out of this if you manage to survive it, that is. Maybe I can get out of this situation. I don't think wiggling's gonna help. I don't know if I have enough time to wait. Let's examine the room. The candlelight is weak and some candles have already blown out, their wicks sunken into the wax. After overcoming your initial confusion, you now manage to make out the windows. Thin panels of glass cover the sloping roof. At the other end of the room, you can make out some square shapes, but that's about it. You lift your head, but your view is very limited, and you can't make out much more. Damn it! Wiggle, or let's wait and gather some strength. Finally, you can make out some sounds from the lower floors. Clack, clack, clack. The sound becomes more pronounced, and are approaching you. The echoing, clacking sound is all too familiar to you. The whole body tenses. You can hear Dahlia's heels. Thin, metallic sounds. A latch opens. Then a rusty lock. The wooden door drags against the floorboards. The door opens, and then swings shut again. Silence. Did somebody merely have a quick look into the room, or did they enter? You really don't like not knowing if there's someone else in the room with you. Oh, look who's up again, Dahlia's voice whispers sweetly. Frantically, you try to make out shapes in the shadows all around you, but there's only darkness. If only you'd stayed unconscious, that would have made things so much easier. I really wanted to save the whole ordeal. I could flirt with her. It's not the right time. Don't want to make light of the situation. Ask for mercy. Then we can flirt with her after. Oh, please, no, is all you managed to say. You feel denigrated. As if all your energy and fighting spirit has been drained from you. Your body turns to jello. Please don't. You feebly add one more time. Dahlia's hand with the knife sinks down sinks down slowly. Her expression shows disgust. Oh, please, no. Dahlia's mouth twists in disgust as if you were a cockroach she discovered in her salad. Playfully, she balances the knife on her index finger. You think you can detect a certain curiosity in her expression. You've got a daughter. What would the girl think of you if she knew about all this, that her mother is a murderer? Smirk, not the reaction you had hoped for. My daughter is the reason I do all this. For my family. One day my daughter will be here in my place. One day she will be wielding this dagger. You're getting more and more desperate. Are you going to kill me now with this dagger? Once again, the cold steel gently strokes your cheek. That's right. Got a problem with that? I do. She grasps the dagger with both hands and holds it over you. You watch as the hair on her arm stand up as she begins to speak. I'll take on in my name, in the name of my ancestors, take the sacrifice. She lifts her arm and emits a scream that lets your blood curdle. She rams the knife into your chest, and it glides almost silently through skin, flesh, and bones. An unknown world of pain overwhelms you. You try to breathe, to speak, but every little movement is punished by microscopic pinpricks, so it's the same outcome. Your body starts to burn, and yeah, so this is identical now. Your death will bring our family another period of happiness. What fuck? You goddamn tool. I'm hoping we can escape from that. Load the last chapter. Maybe she could be seduced or something. Let's skip all this. The fact that this has now happened to you makes you... I don't know if I should have wiggled earlier. Because I thought if I saved his strength, he would have been able to wiggle out afterwards with more reserved energy. The fact that it makes me laugh. You laugh. You laugh louder and more maniacally than you've ever laughed in your life. Your body spasms with laughter, so you almost forget the pain, the splinters of wood in sensitive areas of your body, and the many bruises that were plaguing you only a second ago. Shortly thereafter, you calm down again. Take a breath. You'll get a great anecdote out of this if you manage to survive it. Wiggle about a bit. You thrash your arms and legs about. The ties are very secure. And they scratch and dig into your arm, into your skin. But what is it that you're tied to? In the flickering light of the candles, you follow the rope with your eyes. The rope that is wound around your right hand leads to a sturdy metal rod a few feet away. It is wound tightly around a hook so that you can move your arms only minimally. Your arms and legs are spread out like a star, and all ties are secured to iron cuffs. Somebody knew what they were doing. Ooh, struggle or try to squeeze through? Let's try to squeeze your hands through the ties. Don't give up. You try to pull your hands through the tie, carefully turn your wrist, trying again and again to see if tugging your hand might help free you, but to no avail. No matter how often and from which angle you try to free your hand from the restraint, the results remain the same. The thin, rough rope cuts deep into your wrist. It's simply too tight. You begin to get seriously worried that it'll cut off your blood flow for too long. That's when you finally give up. A throbbing feeling in your arm is all you get from this little experiment. Finally, you can make out some sounds, so I think this is all the same. Silence. Oh, look who's up again. I really wanted to save you the whole ordeal. Alright, time to use my flirtatious abilities. Please flirt with her. If you wanted to tie me up naked, I would have preferred a comfortable bed, my dearest. Say essentially as you can given the circumstances. At first she doesn't respond. You become a bit insecure. Finally you hear her voice. Believe me, please, I really would have loved that so much. Well, I'm free for the night. Looks like she's a little bit vulnerable psychologically or emotionally, so let's play off that. Did I mean nothing to you? Did I mean nothing to you? You whisper with a hint of accusation. She tilts her head. No, she replies with a slightly wrinkled forehead, obviously a little surprised herself at how easy this question is to answer. No, not really. Oopsie daisy. You're getting more and more desperate. Are you going to kill me now with this dagger? Once again, the cold steel gently strokes your cheek. That's right, got a problem with that? To be honest... She grasps the dagger. Okay, so... yeah, she's doing the whole thingamajig again. Rams the knife into my chest. And then we live happily ever after. Body starts to burn. You consider yourself lucky. Death will bring our family stuff. This is quite the pickle we've gotten ourselves into, but I think I have an idea. Let's go with this again. It makes me laugh. Wiggling actually did something. Except this time, I'm gonna keep struggling. You have never been a person to give up easily just because the odds were bad. Any priest seeing you right now would panic because of your spastic convulsions. But neither your hands nor your legs move from their place on the floor. The handcuffs are simply too tightly tied to the metal bars. At some point, all your energy is used up and your back settles onto the scratchy wooden floor again. You would really like to scratch yourself in several places. If there is a solution, I don't know what it is yet. Finally, you can make out, so now she's approaching. I'm gonna skip through that. I really wanted to save you the whole ordeal. Making light of the situation might also produce something, but I don't know. Flirting, on the other hand. If you wanted to tie me up naked, I would have preferred a comfortable bed, my dearest. Believe me, I really would have loved that so much. Well, I'm free for the night. She giggles. You're unbelievable. She looks away from you and calmly looks at the dagger in her hand. Okay, this is going well. Unbelievably. She repeats more quietly. Hot, cute, or dashing? Unbelievably... dashing. She laughs out loud. Yes, you keep surprising me. Wait. You decide not to be intimidated and put on the best poker face one could muster when naked and tied up on the floor. Let's hope that your naked body will not betray your anxiety in one way or another. Dahlia has gotten a little closer to you and is looking at you as if you were a potential new rug. Are you cold? She asks with a flirtatious smile. Oh, damn it. Your fingers caress the handle and blade of a knife. Even from your awkward position, you can see that she's smiling. Well, At least one person is having fun. Asking for mercy didn't work before in the other attempts, so bargain is a new one. What am I going to bargain her? Well, obviously she doesn't have any financial interest because killing me is going to settle any financial issues. But maybe I could work for you, Dahlia. I can find you victims for your religious ding. That's what I'm trying to bargain. Whatever you're planning, you say with as much confidence as you can fake. Make it quick, will you? No. Shit. These... Whatever you're planning. Explain what's going on here. Make it quick. I don't like either of these options. Explain it. I'm being serious. Explain to me what's going on here. Classic. Delaying the inevitable just a little by asking the villain to explain their plans. Hopefully, Dahlia isn't too familiar with all of these cliches. I don't think she's that stupid. Dahlia's fingertips impatiently stroked the handle and blade of her dagger, her face reflecting the conflict that must be going on inside her. She points the gun down. She points the gun down at you and relaxes a little. Fine, I guess I owe that to you. You listen intently to the measured clicking sound from her heels. She moves through the room like a cat, elegantly, but with malicious intent, while continuing to talk quietly. Yeah, keeping her talking is the key. You're an exception, you know. Usually all this works very differently. I have many different ways of keeping her talking now. I don't even know which one I should go with. Usually all this works very differently. Do I want to know why it's different? Do I know usually all this? Or you're an exception? Looks like you're on the same mindset that I am. Why am I an exception? Darling. She gives you a smile, fingers still clutching on the dagger. To make it brief, yes, we do lure people here to Innsmouth to sacrifice them to Dagon, ruler of the ocean. To be more precise, it's just me and a handful of other inhabitants who are still able to mingle among other people without raising suspicion. Many here suffer from what we call the Innsmouth look. Dahlia points to her neck. She looks way better than, pretty much everyone else in town except the mayor. Gills. Changes of the eye shape, dandruff, hair loss, to only name the common effects. You don't really want to know what's happening downstairs. She laughs softly. Your blood curdles. Downstairs. And this weekend, the sacrifices are of special significance. The stars, she points the dagger towards the ceiling to illustrate her point, are a unique constellation. Kinda want to know what's going on downstairs now. You could say that every family, even the rabble of the city, is trying to make a sacrifice today. Can't imagine how surprised and delighted I was when you showed up on my doorstep. We had assumed that you would be wasted as... She twists her mouth in disgust. A community sacrifice. This explanation brings up more questions than it answers. Yeah, but why me? Fuck that. Clarify the downstairs bit. I think I'm onto something. Getting back to the downstairs bit. You start Oh, this is great. You Getting back to the downstairs bit, you start strangely fascinated by the mutations of the intimate areas of the local population. Dahlia raises an eyebrow. She's probably not too thrilled to have to go into more detail. Well, for many years, she's answering. For many years, we have had intimate encounters with the beings from the deep. We are all their descendants. The beings from the deep are all children of Dagon. And, as creatures of the sea, they have adjusted to life at the bottom of the ocean. They come on land only to... well, she clears her throat. To breed, you say helpfully. Dahlia nods. Gross. You're starting to regret asking any questions. The people here have fish sex, and their offspring become more and more like the fish monsters. You've heard enough. I wonder if at some point they start laying eggs, or do they still have to do the whole mammal thing? Maybe I'm asking too many questions. Dahlia looks down on you pitifully. Her grip around the dagger is now visibly tighter. She is preparing for what she's about to do. The time has come. Okay, I think I have to appeal to her conscience. Now when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing it as conscience. Constitutional science. Appeal to her conscience. Come on, Dahlia, darling, please. Hear me out. I don't mind if you're a little scaly down there. We can work with this. Oh, please, no. Oh crap, this is the same. Dahlia's mouth twists in disgust as if you were a cockroach. Wait, what? That's not... But I didn't select that. It went into the other one. You've got a daughter. What would the girl think of you? My daughter is the reason I do this. That's the same. You're getting more and more desperate. Are you going to kill me now with this dagger? Got a problem with that? Well... Oh, yeah, I think we're dead. We're totally dead. Yeah, think what the children would look like. Ooh. Oh, Dagon in the name, I'm fucked. She lifts her arms, rams a knife into my chest, and we are fucked. Damn, I thought we were onto something with that. You goddamn tool. Where did I go wrong with her? Obviously, there's still more that could be done in terms of when we got the child from the arcade. I'm just trying to not exhaust, but at least make it through if I can. We haven't tried just shouting out for help. Help! Help me! That's all you've got. What do you call for help when a private investigator's gone missing? The police? The fire brigade? Santa? And who would be missing you anyways? Obviously, my goldfish, Al. Think about my goldfish. Al? What might he be up to right now? Is he hiding in his little plastic castle? Is he swimming through the algae in his own filth? Is he looking for food on the water surface? Oh, Al. Take a breath. You'll get a great anecdote out of this if you manage to survive it. Wait and gather some strength. It was a bit of a humor from earlier in the game. When we checked into the hotel, Dahlia makes her appearance. Okay, so let's flirt with her. If you wanted... Wait, I just noticed she's not even showing up. If you wanted to tie me up naked, I would have preferred a comfortable bed, my dearest. I think I broke the game and I can't see her. Believe me, please, I really would have loved that so much. Well, I'm free for the night. She giggles. You're unbelievable. She looks away. Unbelievably cute. Yes, you keep surprising me. Wait. You decide not to be intimidated and put on the best poker face when one can muster when naked and tied up on the floor. Are you cold? She asks with a flirtatious smile. Shrinkage. Oh, there we go. Now he's here. Okay. Well, at least one person is having fun, so I'm gonna bargain. Whatever you're planning, you say with as much confidence as you can fake. Having her... Yeah, explain what's going on. I'm being serious. Explain to me what's going on. That's the same, obviously. An exception, you know. Usually all this works. An exception? She gives you a smile. Make it brief, yes. We lure people, blah, blah, blah. Stuff happens. Skills change. And then she talks about the downstairs, or at least she mentions it. You could say every family. I'm skipping over all the stuff we've already read. Yeah, but... I'm thinking if I did why me, it's probably going to be pointless. It really felt as if I was going somewhere with the downstairs bit. Why me? Why me? Okay, let's try this one. Why me? Why me, of all people? You ask desperately. You may not be the best kind of human, but neither are you. Neither are you the most depraved specimen of your species. It's really nothing personal. Dahlia raises her hand soothingly, which, given she has a dagger in her hand, is more threatening than reassuring. It's just that we prefer to bring people here who nobody will miss that quickly. This works by specifically selecting fringe professions, such as private investigators, especially those whose business, if you don't mind me saying, isn't going that well. There's your answer. You're a loser that no one will miss, and all you're good for is to be sacrificed to a cult in a Hicksville coastal town. Oof. Dahlia looks down on you pitifully. Her grip around the dagger is now visibly tighter. She is preparing for what she's about to do, and we're fucked. Okay, so we were on to more with the downstairs bit that kept her talking. This now led us here. It feels as though having, like, when I did appeal to her consciousness, it was the same as if I did the pleading thing. Make it quick, will you? Make it quick, will you? The silence that follows your words makes you uneasy. From the corner of your eye, you can see Dahlia hovering motionless, the knife still in her hand. I promise, I really don't want you to suffer. Her voice is soft and sweet. You feel hopeful. Surely a woman of Dahlia Marsh's background wouldn't do anything stupid, or at least she wouldn't commit a murder, right? Before another word leaves your lips, a knife gently touches your throat. We died differently this time. Kind of. Alright, I'm going to try one last time on that. And if it don't work, then we backpedal to the kid. Or actually, we might backpedal into the house during the meal. There might be some good stuff there. I don't want to sit here exhausting every possible option. It's not... makes you think. Examine the room. Actually, it just didn't really matter. We can gather some strength. Click, clack, click, clack, 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 clack. Flirt with her. Well, I'm free for the night. Unbelievably hot. So she answers the same way regardless. Wait! You decided to be intimidated and put on the best poker face one could muster when naked and tied up on the floor. Hey, Zilvos. Okay, now we bargain. Basically, any merciful behavior is not good. Whatever you're planning, explain what's going on here. Okay, so we got that. She's got... Usually all this works very different. Exception. She gives you a smile. To make it brief, yes. Blah, blah, blah. Now, just to clarify the downstairs bit, that was my favorite part anyways. For many years we have intimate encounters with the beings from the deep. To breed. Time has come. So we know making it quick doesn't work. Did I mean nothing to you also doesn't work. And I swear when I tried to appeal to her consciousness, it felt as if it was a different option. Appeal to her I don't think we were onto anything. Yeah, same. It's doing that. Okay. Because all these I do... Yeah, you die no matter what with these options. That's not good for me. We have to backpedal. I want to see more inside the mansion during the dinner. I don't know whether or not it's possible to get through that scenario. Maybe it is, but I don't want to try and nitpick every last little option when it kind of feels like it takes forever. So in the interest of my own interest, let's go back one. So we'll still be in the house. Obviously, we're probably supposed to never go there in the first place. But I am kind of curious, how else can this dinner go? Load the Villa Marsh. Oh, wait. Or maybe let's do it differently. This is where we picked up her daughter. I had a thought that, but I was wrong, I think. It was that the reason she wanted me to deliver her to a different address is something different was going on. And she wanted to get her kid to, like, safety or something, but that does not appear to be the case based on the juicy bits we pulled out from my execution or sacrifice. Either way, this is where the chapter brought us to, so let us see. Evelyn isn't speaking. Let us first talk to the girl. Nothing is wrong with clearing up a few things while you're walking. Hey, listen. Evelyn slows down and looks at you expectantly. Let's try earning her trust by talking about video games. So you like video games? Her face lights up immediately. I love video games. My mother doesn't allow me to play them at home, and that's why I go to the arcades. I had to wait so long for the new Boom, and Quark 5 has just been released. But that's why I couldn't stand staying at home any longer. Then her enthusiasm falters. I wasn't supposed to leave the house. I was grounded. She looks down the footpath again. I hope I won't get into trouble. We're nearly there. Grounded. So she must have already been at home. Maybe Dahlia has just found her when you arrived in town. And maybe she couldn't let you know because reception is so bad in this place. No, it's because you get set up. I could try and cheer her up. Let's find out more. Evelyn, since when have you been grounded? A week, the girl says without hesitation. A week. According to her mother, she's been gone for a week. Never mind the fact that her name is supposed to be Tabitha, and you were And you were given the wrong contact details. You are now certain that Dahlia has lied to you. The big question now is, why would she do such a thing? Well, we know because she's got some interesting fishy parts downstairs. Here we are. By now you've left the narrow alleys of Old Town and you're standing in front of a wonky metal fence. Behind it, an old-fashioned mansion on a little hill. A surprisingly grand property, considering that in the rest of town, people appear to live like sardines. Evelyn, you stand there. Are your parents raised? You live here? This is where you live? Up there? The girl gives you a look that's perhaps best summarized with, "Duh. Where else would I live?" "Yes, my family's been living here for..." She pauses, squinting intently, and thinks, "About 180 years. Family tradition, then." "Don't go in there, bud." "Right, shall we go in?" Evelyn nods bravely as she fishes around. This is where she fumbling around with the keys. Let's skip through this, and we don't. Shiva runs down here. I still don't know this word. Duplicatus. Duplicious sounds kind of nice. The Duplicious Dahlia Marsh. Let's see. Enter with her? No. Let's see what happens if I wait a second. There's 6 sons for danger. Yeah, we did that before. Duplication. Oh, I forgot how I said it now. Duplication. I don't know. What a tough word. Alright, what is it that you want? Shoot. Let's see what happens if I say goodbye. Do I leave? Does the game go, or what? He kneeled down and looked directly into her eyes. "Listen, little one, I've done my duty, but I've forgotten something very important at home, which is why I have no time to meet your mother." She looks at you intrigued. "Please tell her I'll be sending an invoice. Or please don't tell her I was here." Ooh. "Tell her I'll be sending an invoice." In other words, I'm sending the bill in the mail. You've never seen a 10-year-old girl frown skeptically before, but there's a first time for everything. Eventually, she shrugs and awkwardly looks down at the doormat. There's nothing else to say here. There are sounds from the house, like someone putting down cutlery, which rattle the two of you out of your uncomfortable silence. Without another word, Evelyn rushes into the house. You can hear sounds of creaking wood and muffled voices from inside the house. You're certain you can make out the voice of Dahlia Marsh. You wonder what to do now. I could just flat leave. Go through the evidence. You've decided not to confront Dahlia directly. Yeah, she's a bit rough in the sack. Yesterday, you would not have believed that only the next day you'd be sneaking around her front yard. Despite your fond memories of your first encounter, you've got a bad feeling in the pit of your stomach. In your mind, you go through all the evidence which indicate that Dahlia might be involved in dodgy business. The wrong address she gave you, the wrong name, Tabitha, that she gave you, almost as if you weren't really supposed to find her daughter. Where does this address lead you? I'm actually curious too. Stands to reason that Dahlia is engaged in some sort of criminal activity. You're not sure yet what exactly, but there are enough red flags for you to consider calling in the FBI. You brought the girl home safe. Damn it, you can even testify to her entering the house. This case is closed. All the other unanswered questions are, frankly, no longer your problem. As you walk across the front yard to the big gate, pebbles crunching underfoot, you turn around one last time. The lights are on in several of the upstairs and downstairs rooms of the house. You can't help but wonder what meeting Dahlia Marsh again would have been like. At the same time, you're kind of glad it didn't happen. I could go to the hotel instead of leaving town. I think if I leave town, that's probably just a good end. To the hotel? Hell yeah. Darkness has befallen Innsmouth. Old-fashioned guest... Oh, shoot. Oh, I see. It only took us to this chapter, then. This is the same one as when we got attacked by the villagers. Like, awful gargoyle thing. Gilman Hotel, architectural masterpiece. Right now in the dark, you can't make it out. An empty parking lot makes you think that the hotel must still have rooms available. Wait, what? This is different. Hold on, let's restart that. If it's different, I'm going to read it out loud. My throat's not going to be happy, but fuck it. Darkness has befallen Innsmouth. Old-fashioned gaslights illuminate a few patches along the dark alleyways, but generally it doesn't look as if the town planners were too fussed with providing adequate lighting. Some streets are completely plunged into darkness. You struggle more and more to find your way around. Was this awful gargoyle already here earlier in the afternoon, or are you in the wrong part of town altogether? When you're almost about to give up your search for the Gilman Hotel and resigned to finding a cozy spot somewhere on the curb, you see it. The outline of the hotel roof. Luckily, the hotel is set apart clearly from the mishap in nearby tenements. The Gilman Hotel is an architectural masterpiece. Although right now in the dark you can't make out many of its stylistic features, the hotel majestically rises 4 stories above the rickety houses that surround it. A sea of leaves glints in the light of the moon. Must be ivy. An empty parking lot makes you think that the hotel must still have some rooms available. Felt like you've been followed for a long time. The growing paranoia and constant glancing over your shoulder, you'll be able to forget all of this very soon. You follow the path leading up to the entrance and come to a standstill in front of a massive oak door. Your hand touches the cold metal handle. You press it down and pull, but to your surprise, the door doesn't open. The hotel seems shut. Should I ring the doorbell, or just look for another way in? Let's sneaky. Look for another way in. You walk around the property. Metal bars in front of the windows make it impossible to simply climb inside. But you had at least hoped to find a lit window which you could knock on to make yourself known to someone inside. They won't even let you give one of the night shift staff a good scare. Oh, they won't even let you give one of the night shift staff a good scare. All the rooms inside the hotel seem to be in complete darkness, including the foyer. No one is working. No one is having a drink at the hotel bar. The whole building seems to be completely shut down. Keep walking around the hotel. You walk around the whole hotel, still hoping to find a lit window somewhere. No such luck. Soon you're back at the entrance. It's hard to believe such a thing is possible these days, but the hotel really seems to close. No one is allowed in, or out for that matter. Do the guests know that they're locked in the buildings overnight? Will there be another gormless tourist in an hour or two trying to get in just like you are now? Not actually your problem, you remind yourself. You turn around, leave the hotel behind you, and walk back to the street. You wander the streets. The dark clouds spread out from the sea like claws that ominously reach for the town, reach for you. The sun has set and the temperature is dropping fast. The air, too, gets cooler and a rough wind whips through the alleys. You're lost. You have no idea how to get out of this godforsaken town, and as if that weren't bad enough, you also underestimated the September weather on the coast, and the real cold temperature is still yet to come. Scattered raindrops do not bode well. You aimlessly wander the streets. The narrow alleys are a labyrinth of simple wooden fishermen's huts. At least you're not completely on your own. Look at that. Even at this late hour, there are groups of people out patrolling, with torches and pitchforks, and knives, and nets. Well, let's just stay in the shadows. We shall observe. It's not necessarily the knives and nets that make you worried, it's the limp that many of the villagers have, which make you nervous. The people don't walk, they waddle, stagger, stumble, and scuffle with their upper bodies lifted up like malicious trolls in a fantasy film. You have found refuge behind some old barrels in a narrow side street. You would love to simply huddle up there, but in the middle of the alley, you are without protection against the rain. The pitchfork mob still hasn't noticed you. This really reminds me of that Lovecraftian film you had me watch, Ori. Like this conjures the same scene in my head, which also dealt with the same topic. You wonder what to do next. Knock on a door to ask for help or keep moving through town. What? I'm kind of curious. I'm going to knock on a door and ask for help. Maybe not all the people here are cranky, cold-hearted pigs. Maybe someone will let you spend the night in their house if you just ask politely. Maybe pigs can fly? The opposite was never proven. Anyway, the idea of spending the night in the warmth and leaving Innsmouth early tomorrow morning fills you with new hope. Your hand glides over your wrinkled trench coat, which really needs to be ironed. You're a freelance, so you have enough experience with looking pitiable. You've got a good feeling about this. Since all wooden huts look similarly run down, you simply knock on the next best door in order to escape the rain. The patter of the ever-increasing rain is the only thing you can hear. No steps, no metallic clicking of keys, and no good Samaritan to let you into their house at this dark hour. No one seems to be in. Break down the door or try another door. No, we're not going to try and injure ourselves. Oh, well, maybe. Let's try another door. There's another just over there. Again, you try your luck and knock 3 times quickly. Again. No one lets you in. The difference is that this time you hear the rustling sound of curtains. In the window next to the door, the curtain sways slightly back and forth until it comes to rest. There was someone. Oh. Let's try and provoke a reaction. Leaning your arms against the wooden planks, you try to take a look inside, but it's too dark to see anything, or anyone. This is exactly the kind of cowardly attitude that has led this town into poverty and ruin. You hiss at the curtains because somebody must be listening. Good deeds are what separates everyday heroes from common peasants. Good deeds like giving shelter to poor private detectives on rainy nights. Can't be sure that the occupant of this house has heard even one word of what you just said. Still, you feel a little better now. A creaking sound behind you makes you freeze. The door, right behind you. An old woman is peering out of the house in front of which you were shouting. She's cracked open the front door and examines you through round spectacles. Oh no, it's that girl from earlier. She reminds you of an insect. Her voice is rough as sandpaper. Yep, it's her. I knew it. What do you want? You have beautiful, mushy tongue. I need a place to stay for the night? I need a place to stay for the night, you say honestly. She licks her lips. Was it you who was just ranting out there? Yes? Well, she did hear you. Yes, I guess that was me. You answer truthfully. It's a very urgent call. I didn't ask to use her phone. I asked to... Maybe both choices lead to the same thing. The woman looks you up and down. You feel assessed and judged. Then there's a rattling cough, and judging by the raised corners of her mouth, she may even be laughing. Well, at least you're honest, kid. She opens the door a little wider and waves you in. Okay, come on in. Gratefully, you step into the apartment. You try to make out details about the inside of the dark old house. Candles are lined up on shelves and small side tables. A lot of them are almost burned down. At least they keep you from running into the furniture. The old woman is probably blind, and that's why she doesn't need lighting in her own home. Only with a lot of effort can you make out the contours of narrow doors that line the walls of the room. Whoever is responsible for the design of this hut has obviously tried to squeeze as much as possible into the very limited space. I have a guest bed available. You can have it if you help me with the gardening, sweetie. I don't want to bother you. Quick phone call. Okay, I agree. Why not? Sure, I can help you in the garden. The woman is at least 100 years old. You assume the only thing she needs help with is picking some daisies from the grass. She clasps her hands. Perfect. Let's get straight down to work. And afterwards, Ethel will make you a hot tea. So the name's Ethel. The lively old woman immediately scurries through one of the narrow doors and hastily waves you to follow her. A smile creeps onto your face. You've got a good feeling about this. Trying not to knock anything over, you make your way through the darkness. This place seems less like house and more like an art installation. You walk through another room that doesn't even have any candles, but a faint source of light leads you further. I suspect it's not even a trap, but like bodies or something else along those lines. Find out. As you cross the room, you almost trip over a bag lying on the floor. This must be the storage room where the old lady keeps her potato sacks. The bag makes a squeaky sound. Yeah, I've been 5 hours, 50 minutes. Poor harvest, evidently. Kick the potato sack again, or walk into the garden. If I kick the potato sack, he might learn what it is and freak out and want to leave, right? As opposed to walking straight into the trap, or maybe we'll get some interesting info. Kick it. You can't pass an opportunity to take revenge on a defenseless object for your own clumsiness. After a good kick, the bag makes a strange sound. Yeah, the harvest must have been really, really bad. You push the door open a little further and step onto a small, dilapidated veranda. It appears that every single one of the small houses in this residential area has its own back garden, which is shielded from neighbors by high wooden fences. Ethel's garden is well protected from any prying looks. It's also very small, only a medium-sized paddling pool. Only a medium-sized paddling pool would have room here in summer, but the old woman seems to have her own plans regarding the use of her small garden. Before you graced her with your presence, she was in the process of digging an elongated pit. Given the rain and the hard ground, this could not have been an easy task. She hasn't made a lot of progress. There's a shovel in the heap of earth that is piled up next to the pit. A light brown bag with many stains lies on the other side of the pit, in the damp grass. The pit would have to be dug, but deeper for the bag to fit through. So, Ethel claps her hands. You freeze. You hadn't noticed her coming up next to you. This needs to be buried before it starts to stink. Your hands grab the shaft of the shovel, but then something catches your attention. It's the linen bag. Its contents twist and turn with an alarming regularity. What's in the bag? None of my business. Consider it done. Consider it done, you say eagerly, because who are you to question the order of strange old ladies? You grab the shovel and get ready to work on the small dish that has already been dug. Chop, chop. The faster you dig the ominous pit for the suspicious bag, the sooner you'll be able to sleep. Hopefully not without ferret-filled nightmares. Toot toot. Ethel does the gesture of a train driver. How nice. Pensioners with such a sunny deposition are rare. The earth is softer than you had anticipated. Instead of rock-hard ground, you dig up soft earth, and quite a few bones, and some dental braces. I'm not even going to mention it. None of my business. Bit by bit, you dig a bit further, and soon you've produced a huge pile of earth, which is full of bones. Ethel seems very pleased with your work. Before you know it, the old woman is standing at your side, digging you in the ribs with her elbow. Well, that was a piece of cake for a young person like you, wasn't it, sweetie? She clasps her hands and leads you to the bag, which is now writhing as if possessed by the devil. Go on, bag in, bit of dirt on top, the end. Skinny hand pats you on the back. I'll put on the kettle. Ethel returns to her house and leaves you alone with a dug ditch, a twitching linen bag, and many questions. You get down to business. I kind of want to see both, to be honest. Tea sounds good, especially after a day like today. The linen bag at your feet still writhing back and forth as if possessed by the devil. After careful consideration, you decide to violently kick it into the pit. These rabbit ferrets were asking for it. The tip of your shoe kicks right into the middle of the fabric. The bag only rolls a few inches. It now writhes even more as if its contents were possessed by the devil. Are ferrets able to communicate with each other? You could swear that you heard a distinct oomph sound. 2, 3, 4, 5 will place kicks, and the bag finally lands in the pit. Life is a happy song, and you shovel the heaped up soil back into the pit. You make an effort to distribute the previously exposed bones in the soil with authentic regularity. You want to leave everything the way you found it. Then your work is done. The moment you ram the shovel into the ground, lightning strikes over Innsmouth, followed by a crashing roll of thunder. Better go inside. Inside the hut, you follow a trail of tea lights that guide you back to the living room like a landing strip. Ethel comes out of a room that you hadn't even noticed before. Here's my little guest room. I hope you like it. Tea is nearly ready. After thanking Ethel for her hospitality, you disappear into the small room to recover from the exertion of digging. Although the guest room is also lit by nothing other than candles, it's cozier than the rest of the house. This is probably due to the light-colored wallpaper which is covering the rotted wood. The evening is lovely, delicious tea and cookies with Ethel on a warm bed. You're sleeping great. In the morning, Ethel has prepared a huge breakfast for you, and the first sun rays of the day bathe the house, which seemed so creepy last night in the soft light. It's crazy how perceptions can play such tricks on you. When you leave her house and wave goodbye, you realize something. It occurs to you that Ethel is an awful animal abuser. Show her the middle finger. Oh, After all we've been through, why would I flick her off? I'm just picturing somebody just like walking away after all the help she gave us and all our not, instigating. Just keep on waving. Bye, thank you, have a good time. You just keep waving and try to suppress the memory of dead ferrets. God, this town is the worst. It's a Sunday morning with no shady patrols and frog-like creatures lurking in the shadows. Every now and then you have thoughts like, nice place, or not so terrible, creep up on you. The sunshine helps, definitely. A front of gray clouds is already lurking on the horizon, but the bright morning hours ease the paranoia from last night. What also helps is the fact that not a soul is out and about. If you look like the people from Innsmouth, you probably only venture out at night. With these musings, you walk through the old town and back to the city center. It doesn't take you long until you stand in front of the bus that will take you and a handful of villagers back to Boston. It didn't go so badly. Months later. Okay, so that was another ending then. The first rays of sun caress your cheeks. A good day indeed. Even the traffic right outside your bedroom is moderate today, at least for this early time of day. Thanks to your successful work at Innsmouth, you can afford to be at the office a little later. Dahlia did give you a big bonus that should sort you out for at least 6 months. If you handle things in the right way now and manage to get follow-up cases, you should be financially stable in no time. A smile sneaks onto your face when you think about your trip to Innsmouth. A bunch of odd characters, no doubt, but that's just what country folk are like. You already miss the sea breeze. Maybe another weekend trip to that little seaside town is in order soon. Living like high society on a shoestring budget, then you might also be able to try those fish delicacies you've been dreaming about. With a yawn, you bury your head back in your pillow. Just a few more minutes. Innocence. Cluelessly, you escaped from Innsmouth, all in a nice weekend. So yeah, I guess that technically is a good end.